station. But if you head on over to supertalktv.com, you'll meet Ryan Munson of Munson and Brothers in Columbus, Mississippi. Recently, they were highlighted as Mississippi Main Street Association's 2022 Outstanding New Business from Main Street Columbus. So welcome, Ryan.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so I've been interested in you guys' business because it feels like general stores, that may not be the word you would use, apothecaries, these sort of different type of businesses are popping up throughout Mississippi that combines creative outlets as well as food and beverage, and it's kind of a one-size-fits-all or a multidisciplinary business. So when you describe Munson and Brothers, how do you try to explain everything you guys do there to someone real quick?
Quick is hard to do, but we started off as makers, and when COVID happened, we had to pivot, and we made more of a community space. We saw a need where music needed to be played, people needed to be outdoors more, so we created a beer garden, and we still have our apothecary. And just recently, we introduced stone-fired pizzas, so we're a restaurant as well.
Y'all just keep adding to it, but it's this idea that it's kind of like a community center for profit, but it also is a real cool sort of hangout as well. When you, and I guess it's your wife that owns it with you, when you guys were thinking through purchasing the building there on 2nd Avenue North, did y'all have all of this in mind, or sort of what was y'all's thinking when you went into buying the building?
I was a maker first, and we made things like, and you can go to our online store at munsonandbrothers.com, but we make like soap and candles and all sorts of apothecary things. And we actually, it was Main Street where we did our first show, and we sold at one of the local booths there, their Main Street festival that they have. And we just did really, really well, and we took a leap of faith, and we got the building, and that was mostly going to be where we made our stuff, and then we'd go out throughout Mississippi and South and sell our wares. COVID happened, and we really had to think about what we're doing and how can we provide a service for our community. And the big deal was there's no outdoor space for musicians to play. There was no places really that had outdoor seating for eat food or anything. So we invited everyone to bring their own food from whatever restaurant around town, downtown, and we happened to be luckily downtown. And we had musicians play every Friday, and we kind of embraced the craft beer scene. And there collectively, we just met other people who create, and other people who wanted to, contribute to the artist scene. And so we've just tapped into that, and I love it.
Y'all are really using that outdoor space. I've seen everything from dance parties, live entertainment, karaoke, kids games, yoga. I mean, are you just throwing noodles at the wall and seeing what will stick, or is it kind of like, come one, come all, this place is open for anything, for any idea?
Well, it's been very, very organic. I would love to say that it was all me, but it's been a lot of people who bring ideas to me and say, can I utilize your space? And we never charge for our space. It's just kind of like come one, come all. And as long as it fits, in our mission and is wholesome, then we invite it.
Most the businesses took a hit there during the P word, the pandemic, but you did see a few that really kind of embraced the roadblock that it was and tried to pivot, that other P word that we keep using, but, and sort of flourish. Do you feel like that Munson and Brothers would have fully developed without the face of, trying times that came with the pandemic?
The pandemic was a catalyst for us to become a community space and really get our name out there. Oddly enough, in hindsight, it was a blessing. At the time, we were worried. Where we sell our wares, we had wholesale accounts throughout Mississippi, and we had festivals. All that really came to an abrupt stop. So we just had to do some decision making pretty quickly on how can we save our business.
A lot of businesses feel like, Ryan, they have to master one, whether it's a really great restaurant or it's a really great live music. Well, I guess those two kind of can go together. But it feels like y'all are jack of many trades, but you're actually mastering that. It's working for you. So how do you sort of share with other small businesses that you can think outside of, the box that maybe your main thing's in to sort of get creative with different revenue streams or different ideas for the community? Because y'all definitely broke the mold on, a traditional style one anything.
Well, I would first say that is kind of a misconception, is that you have to be a master. uh, people expect you to be a master at everything, and we made so many mistakes along the way. I would say, do what you can, try to enjoy it, and if you enjoy it, you'll love it. And if you'll love it, then people that transcends. And we've been offered a lot of grace in our mistakes as we've grown from our public and from the community. But I think people understand what we're trying to do, and a big key of that is to involve as many people, and it hasn't been about me. We've had some awesome, for example, yoga. I shouldn't be doing any yoga,
You're not
but
teaching it.
we got we have an amazing group of folks who have a yoga studio and needed an outdoor space, and they did it all for charity, and they were hosting free classes and giving that money away, and I think people see that good, and that's what success is, to make sure that it's something good, that you're offering something that your community doesn't already have, because you don't want to take away from it.
Not every community has a beer garden. Explain that.
The best way I can explain it is it's like a coffee shop, but instead we have beer. We really embrace the craft beer scene. Speaking of being mindful, we've got some wonderful craft beer breweries here in Mississippi with Southern Prohibition, Chandeleur Brewing Company. We wanted to, it's just like when you go to a restaurant and you purchase like a Bud Light. 17% of that revenue stays in your community. The rest of that goes off to St. Louis. And so we didn't want to just introduce beer to introduce beer. We wanted to tap into the connoisseurship of craft beer. And we also wanted to keep it as local as possible. So most of the breweries that we have are within a 200-mile radius. There's a few in Alabama, a few in Tennessee. And so when you buy a beer like a Southern Prohibition, 20% of the revenue goes out, 80% of that revenue stays in Mississippi. And we very much want to stay local and stay grassroots, and give to other crafters and makers.
And if you're in the Columbus area, you can definitely stop by Munson and Brothers. Where are you guys located?
We're located downtown Columbus. It's 301 2nd Avenue. You can't miss us. We look like a little trading post. We've got a big old side yard. It's fenced in with a stage. And this time of year, we have a fire almost every night outside, where you can go get warmed up. And we're serving pizza now.
And for those of us, maybe Columbus isn't necessarily within driving distance or easy to get to, online is always a good idea of shopping. You can still shop local and online. You just have to make sure that, the retailers still have a storefront here in Mississippi, which you guys do. So what are some of those products that you guys are selling online?
We make everything. I've had to move the apothecary since we have introduced food, but we make everything from awesome candles. I have a beard. We do beard oil, beard balms. We make handmade soaps. We make stuff for lotions for ladies, and lye-based soap. Just all sorts of things. T-shirts, art. We have it all. It's at munsonandbrothers.com.
So the creative side of your business came first. When did you guys get interested in making soaps and beard oil and candles and all of that?
It was a hobby that I took way too far, and my front living room looked like an apothecary. And my wife one day said, "Can you just go and sell some of this stuff so we can get it out of our house?" And that's when she's an artist as well. Her father was an art professor at the W here in Columbus for 40 years. And she had a booth at the Mississippi Main Street Market, the festival there, and she let me partner up with her and sell my stuff with her, and we just blew my expectations out of the water. And so we thought, well, let's lean into this. This is a lot of fun.
Well, leaning into it, I think, is what you guys do well, and sort of understanding what is needed at the moment, and then you never know what kind of will develop from there. If we stop in, Ryan, what's the best pizza? What do I order? What's the first thing on my list? And beer.
I personally like a Buddha. It's one with everything. And then just a good light craft beer. I would talk to one of the people working there. They're very knowledgeable, and they'll lead you in the right direction.
Oh, I love that. I love a good name to the foods and things. Okay, where do we go to connect with you guys online and find your store?
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. Like I said, you can find us downtown or munsonbrothers.com.
I'm loving the accent wall behind you, by the way. I bet that was your wife.
Yeah, she's good.
Well, y'all are a good team together. I appreciate your time today, Ryan, and best of luck in 2023.
Thank you again for having me.
All righty, you guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.